Locher Field in Italy on our PC12. We are going to just do a quick tour of the valley and see how the approach to the field is working on the X-Plane 11. We're just going to exit here the hangar and go uphill here on this small taxiway. It's more like a driveway than anything else. And then we're just going to go up the hill to the other end of the runway up there and do a departure to that side of the valley. And let's see how all works with us today. First things first, battery and external power. Just going to turn on the nav lights. Unfortunately, I cannot push back the aircraft outside the hangar without with a better pushback. I wonder if it will just go slowly if I detach the parking brakes. If I remove the parking brakes, it does not do anything, unfortunately. Nope. So definitely we have to turn it on. Alright, nav light on, beacon on, and let's go to the pedestal, set our override to max, and our ignition lever to ground idle, and hopefully we'll be able to start the engines. Everything seems to be normal for numbers. And let's go generator, 1 and 2, battery, external power off, avionics on, and taxi lights on. Let's move these things out of the way so we can see the overhead panel a little bit better. Turn on all the lights inside. And brakes on, release parking brakes, and see if we can just slowly, just without idle, to leave the hangar without. There you go, so the doors are actually too close. Alright. I couldn't go down the hill there because there's that static aircraft there blocking our pathway. So just go this way. And I'm gonna go inside the cockpit so I can properly see our heading and where we are heading to. So doing a little bit of a curve here, or a turn here, so we can go up the hill here. It will not go up the hill just with the idle. I actually have to give a little bit of thrust. There we go. And I'm going to set my view here to the left hand side. I'm going to keep an eye on the edge here because I have crashed before just on the outside of this edge here. Not on this curve, but the curve above, up there, and this way I know more or less. I'm not going to set myself outside the aircraft, of course not, but come on, keep going. Attaboy. Okay. Small turn here. There we go. Success. And now landing lights on, strobes, etc. We're entering the runway, and I will set the flaps as we're going uphill, as well as the throttle to flight max. What I've noticed here on this grass is that there's little friction on the tires. You can slide very easily. Doesn't break well either. Alright, flap set for departure. It's very hard to understand exactly where the runway ends and starts, but I think this here should be our turn. Go. Alright, last cockpit preparations, flight idle. Okay. Our lights and switches, they are all good. Seat belts on. No caution lights. Let's set the power and brakes release. And the departure procedure says for us to keep on the left hand side of the valley here. So we'll do that and fly always on the left hand side of the valley. Oh, the cables. There you go. They say to keep gear up and flaps up. They say to keep the altitude right above this house and plateau on the left hand side that we're just passing. And now on top of the hill there on the left hand side, you will see those two electrical towers. That's going to be another landmark that we're going to follow on the approach. So now the trick is, as we I already set my course as 161. That's the course of the runway when we were descending, and I set my heading bug to the opposite. So basically we are flying at 060 degrees. I set it to 013 degrees. So sorry, our heading right now is 189. So just so I know more or less where the landmarks are, I'm just doing like 180 degrees back on my heading, so I know when to stop turning. So I'm just gonna fly to the right hand side here. I don't want to pick up too much speed, still have the landing lights on, which is okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to keep between 100 to 130 knots and do a left turn and turning towards the valley again without dropping too much altitude. I don't want to be any lower than 4,000. That was a warning that I was getting into the speed of flaps without flaps. So let's keep the altitude. Maintaining altitude, maintaining the speed. Okay, 45 degrees to go. By the time I hit the heading bug on the top center, I should be pointing towards the landmarks that I'm going to start talking to you about. And we are. Alright, so we're going to fly more or less on this heading and not lower than 4,000 feet. There's going to be a lot of things happening here very fast. First thing, speed. Make sure you go slow. Second thing, don't drop any lower than 4,000 feet. So keep yourself around this altitude here. And I'm just going to adjust my heading. Alright, because I don't want to go any faster than this, I'm going to use flaps, 2 flaps, and they say to fly to this hill here right in front of us, and we will see 2 churches. And the church is going to be right in front of our nose, the aircraft nose. You'll see the building, and it's starting to come right in front of us. And to the left of the church, on the edge of the hill, right here, there's going to be 2 towers of electrical cables. And there we go, we have the church here on the right hand side, and the electrical cable towers right here on the left hand side of the nose. As we come across this, we're going to start to descend, but we're not going to descend like crazy, because there's going to be an electrical cable from this plateau coming through here to the other side of the valley. The cables are in a lower altitude to the right hand side of the valley, so we have to fly on the right hand side of the valley, but we want to pass the cables above, or we want to fly above the cables, not under the cables. But then there's going to be another 3rd row of cables here, much lower, that we want also to pass above the cables. And so right now I'm going to put the gear down, I'm going to start putting the flaps, and I'm going to try to slow down to 80 knots and keeping descending. The field is right in front of us, and we're going to see some cables here very soon. Full flaps. I think I'm a little bit too high, and we are flying the cables. We just passed them. Gear is down, flaps full, and now it's just a matter of controlling the speed and the approach here, and slowly getting I bumped. That's alright. Just a small bump. Flaps up. Going up the hill again so we can turn around. And now we'll taxi back to the gate. Very slowly, I'm going way too fast. I'm actually pressing brakes in full, and it's just sliding on this grass. So what I want to do is bring the ground idle, which is not the easiest thing to do. This is Come on. It's almost dead, but alright. Can I do any better? Alright. Wing and strobe off, landing off, and taxi lights on. Flaps are reset. So now at ground idle, this speed is just letting the aircraft go down the slope. So apparently there's a light there. We're gonna fly to the not almost, we're gonna go on the roof of the hangar here. And we're gonna do the same thing as we did before. I'll let you know why. So the taxiway is now to the right of the nose. And I'm gonna set the view on the edge of the window here. And I'm going to try, well, apparently not. Okay. I'm gonna try to keep the wing or the left wheels way to the right of the grass. It's not easy. I have crashed here before on this curve because I went way too much to the left of the ledge there, and now I'm gonna go too much to the right of the ledge there. You see this? No? Okay, so far so good. Pressing the brakes all the time, making sure the wheels are not gonna go outside the taxiway or the driveway or the cement, whatever you want to call it. Again, giving the left wing to the turn here. The left wheel just hit a bump there. Look at that shadow. I've never seen that before. That is pretty cool. Alright, we made it down the hill. Would be nice that better pushback would work here, but it seems that it will not work for this aircraft, so we're just going to turn around. And facing down to the other aircraft. Parking brake is set. And now we can start with the shutdown procedure. Go. And beacon off. External power on. Turning off the radios and the batteries. Not the batteries, but the battery number 2. Back to battery. There we go. Let's see outside how it looks like. I am not putting this thing in there. But that's how it looks like. Welcome to Locher Field. Free scenery from xplane.org. And the trick to make the doors work, I have configured to work with Control-Shift-Delete, is we download the FlywithLua plugin and put it on the plugins folder under resources. And then the Locher Field scenery comes with a script on a zip file, and then we just copy that zip file or the contents of that script to the FlywithLua plugin scripts folder, and on the explain, we just go to the keyboard and we type hangar over here, and this will this option will come up, and then you just select the keys you want to use. And that's pretty much it. Let's open the doors. And hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.